Could you please put up there Psalms chapter 1, verse 1 through 4? I'm going to have you guys go through this very quickly. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, take or sit in the company of the mockers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates in his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by the streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does will prosper. So I want you together as a collective to say, whatever I do will prosper. But I want you to say it now this time with more conviction. Say, whatever I do will prosper. Okay, now, not so with the wicked. All right, so it's amazing because sometimes God seems a little bit gangster. Look at me. Sometimes it seems like God's just being very lovey-dovey, but then sometimes it seems like God is a little bit gangster, okay? Because he goes into this thing and he says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly or stand in the path of sinners, but in his law does he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, whose leaves shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. The word prosper there means to flourish or to bounce real high. Say, this year, I will prosper. Say, next year, I will prosper. Say, the following year, I will prosper. Say, when I get to heaven, I will prosper. Now clap your hands if you actually believe that this is true. Come on, clap strong. Okay, now he's about to get gangster, Samson. Not so with the wicked. Whoa, you just shifted your mood. Who's ever had a parent before? Like 1 minute they could be super nice, and the next minute they could just shift on you like, oh, so you didn't clean your room? It's like, whoa, just a minute ago you said how cute I was. Okay, so he says all these things about you're going to prosper. Then he goes, not so with the wicked. So I love to study. Some of you don't know this. I listen to 1 or 2 sermons every day, 7 days a week. So I study the Bible no less than 2 hours a day, just because I'm a Bible nerd. So he gets real strong here. He says, not so with the wicked. In other words, it's not going to happen for them if they continue to stay wicked. Interesting stuff. They're like chaff that the wind blows away. It's a very, very interesting thing. Now, maybe they'll get a documentary on them like years later, but it won't be positive. Come on, somebody. Maybe there'll be a book on them that they were a wicked leader later on, but it's not going to be positive. But Psalms 1 says, blessed is the person who walks in God's ways. Look at me. You're blessed. The word blessed there means anointed by God with satisfaction and happiness. Wow. So the very thing the world is after, you have been gifted with. See, if I was to let go 7 rabbits in a room and said, chase them. You got 30 seconds. Get them all. How many of you know that would be a lot unless these rabbits were old and had arthritis? Come on, just wave at me. That's what the world says. You want that? Chase it. You want to stay young? Chase it. Come on. You want to keep up with these people? Chase it. You want that? Chase it. There's 7 rabbits. I threw them in the room. They're young and they don't have arthritis. Chase them. So I talked to two legends that you would remember, and if you don't know who they are, Google them. One is a man by the name of Lee Iacocca. I met him through a person who comes to this church who might be watching right now. I met him through Denise Hallecky, who did a movie called Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie. She comes to this church. And so she introduced me probably 25 years ago to Lee Iacocca, who was my friend up until his death, the Lee Iacocca. And he endorsed two of my books, the Lee Iacocca. He was a Richard Branson of our day. I asked Lee Iacocca, what would you say to me as a young leader that you may do different if you had the chance to do it? He said, I would not have worked so much. I would have worked hard, but I wouldn't have done it all the time. He said, I lost time with my family. I lost time with myself. I lost time with my God. He said to me, you teach me about God and I'll teach you about business, which he did. I'm a very good businessman, not semi-good. I'm very good. And I learned so much of it from Lee Iacocca. The second is Tony Curtis, the Tony Curtis, the actor. And we would have these dinners once a month. And I asked Tony Curtis, you know, outside of, you know, being in movies with Marilyn Monroe and being best friends with Frank Sinatra, you know, what would you say to me as a young man that you would do different? And he said, number one, Tim, pay attention to this. He said, I would not have worked so much. He says, I feel like I was chasing something and I got what I chased, but it wasn't worth it in the end. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. There is a counsel that says to you, work harder, work more. There's no days off. Stay on your grind. Stay on your grind, because if you don't get off on that grind, somebody else may take what is yours. I disagree with that, because no one can take what is mine. Because God has a specific calling for your life. He has a specific way that you're going to manifest his glory. Somebody say, good teaching. Okay, go to John chapter 2, verse 16. And thank you guys for helping with these scriptures. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father. Wow, let's just stop there. Say that. Say, for everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Just stop right there. Those three things challenge you every week of your life. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. You're 28. I'm getting wrinkles. You should. You're 59. Oh my gosh, I'm getting gray hair. Should happen. You're 71. For everything in the world, say the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. If you look at commercials, what are they going after? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. You talk to people that are under the devil's power, what are they talking about? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. You talk to some of your relatives, what are they talking about? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. You talk to so many people in the world, what are they talking about? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you are one step behind because you have not caught up with those three. Oh, really? You only have this at this age? Oh, my God, you need to go to so-and-so's seminar. You could be activated within an hour. You've not read this book. You're not vegan. You're not vegan plus. You're not vegan 10X. You are not doing this. You are not doing that. You haven't taken this. You haven't gone to that mountain. You don't follow that guru. You don't follow this. Hey, silly people. I'm not trying to serve a bunch of gods. For everything in the world. In the world. Now, why does he keep talking about the world? Because as I've been studying this message for you for the last month, over and over, he's talking about the world. And then he talks about there's a God of this world. There were 3 top angels in heaven. And if you're taking notes, it's it is Isaiah 14:12. There are 3 top angels in heaven. There was Michael, there was Gabriel, and there was Lucifer. Michael is, watch, the warring angel, the archangel. And Gabriel was the messenger. And Lucifer was the anointed cherub. He led worship in heaven. But you would think that Lucifer would be good with his position, but he was not. Because in Isaiah 14:12, I have it in my notes, he says 5 times, I don't want to just see his glory, I want to be greater than his glory. So that's the God of this world. I want more glory. More about me. Look at me. More about me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. For everything in the world, spirit of Lucifer, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. Woo. Clap your hands if this is good so far. Comes not from the Father, but from the world. So why would I want something that's not from the Father? Wow, wow, wow. Well, let's go back to Psalms 1. Blessed is the person who does not walk in the counsel of the godly, but stands in the ways of God. And in his law does he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree, which is stability, whose leaves shall not wither. And whatsoever he does, and whatsoever he does, and whatsoever he does, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. I want you to know that God's ways are bigger than the world's ways. God's ways are more powerful than the world's ways. God's ways are eternal. So I'm going to tell you something. If you got born again, if you ask Jesus Christ into your life, you are sentenced to success. If you decide to fail on earth, that's up to you. But when you go to heaven, you will not be a failure. You're going to walk on streets of gold. You can't downgrade the wood. You're going to go through pearly gates. Come on, somebody. You can't ask for the ones with the rocks. And you're going to live in a mansion forever. And you're going to have a glorified body. And there will be no more sickness, no more tears, and no more sorrow. Somebody clap your hands like you're catching this today. Go to Philippians chapter 4 and verse 10. You're going to love where I take you today. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 10. Okay? And tell me if you guys have that. If you do not have it, just say no. Okay, thank you very much. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 10. It says this, for I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Say it real loud. Say, for I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Now, I have in my notes. The world has its desires, disciplines, and doings, the way things are carried out. Watch this. The world has its desires, disciplines, doings, the way that things are carried out. But God has his own desires, disciplines, and doings, the way things are carried out. And there is going to be a contrast in the way the world does things and in the way God does things. Lift your hands if you know that's true. So what is the word contrast, Tim Storey? It is a difference. It is a contradiction. It is an opposition. How many of you have children? Lift your hands. How many of you have ever been a child? Okay. If you have kids that are younger, they will come many times with a quote-unquote worldly point of view and say to you, this is what so-and-so's mother lets them do. This is what so-and-so's father lets them do. And then you look like the bad person because that does not go with the way you are raising their children. Everybody's doing it, Mom. Hello, I'm 7. I can't have a cell phone. It's good, right? So the world has its desires, disciplines, doings, the way things are done and carried out. God has his own desires, disciplines, and doings, the way their things are carried out. There's a contrast, there's a difference, there's a contradiction, there's an opposition. But this is a challenge for your life because you want to live godly, but yet you still live in the world. So every day there is a battle for your mind. Because the enemy knows if he can get your mind, he can get your mouth. Because whatever's in your mind, staying in your mind, meditating in your mind, will come out of your mouth. So I can tell what's in your mind by what comes out of your mouth. If you gossip, it's what's on your mind. If you say negative things all the time, it's what's in your mind. If you put other people down, that's what's in your mind. If you put yourself down, it's what's in your mind. So there's a battle in your mind. That's why the Apostle Paul says, cast down vain imaginations, which actually means cast down demonic imaginations. Cast down the devil's thoughts that try to infiltrate your mind. We're not going down, human race, right now. And we're not going down in 100 years. Because when Jesus decides to come back, he's coming back for a glorious church without spot or wrinkle. You should clap your hands real big. Even stronger. Come on, clap. Do you think that God started off this whole thing with a bang in the Garden of Eden to end in a sputter? To end with you watching Fox News or CNN or MSNBC all scared, clutching on to your tia's blanket? No, you are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You're going over and not under. Stop the insanity. Get God's way of thinking into your mind and into your system. Good teaching, right? So watch. Say same location, different principles. Oh, you're going to love this. So you could be in the same location with different principles, different mindset, different expectation, and then you'll get different results. Let me give you an example. I'm flying through New York airport recently. And I see an older man, and he's talking to this young lady that's working at the airport, and I'm waiting to get on my plane. And this is what he says to the young lady who's working, helping people get on wheelchairs. Here's what he says. I'm going to quote him. He says, "I hate this job. The leaders are ignorant, jealous, and cutthroat." And you say, well, why do you know every word he said? He said, because he said it 5 times, so I decided to put it in my phone so I could use it as an illustration. So he says, "I hate this job." Watch this. Let me quote him. "The leaders are ignorant, jealous, and cutthroat, and I would know because I've been here 14 years. Now, she then says, "Well, you know, I've only been here 7 weeks. And he said, "Good luck." And then he quoted it again. He says, "Because the leaders are ignorant, jealous, and cutthroat." So now, Rudy, because of his mindset, he's going to try to talk to a 23-year-old, because that's how old she said she was. And he is going to onboard her. See, when you get into a new job, you should be properly onboarded. If you went to work for Google, they would onboard you, where they take a period of time to teach you the brand, the culture, okay, what they're expecting from you. And so I doubt if this man that had been there all these years was onboarded and said, "Someday I'd like you to speak to somebody that just comes into the company and tell them that we are," listen to this, "ignorant and jealous and cutthroat." So he was onboarding her according to his mindset. I believe that some of you are being improperly onboarded. We better be careful. You never know what's going to be next. I heard Dr. Fauci. But you didn't see the special. There was a special on Fox. You missed that. Then even Dan Rather's still talking. I heard him. Then Howard Stern, where I get most of my material. He said, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly, or stand in the path of sinners, or sit in the seat of the mockers. But in his law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water." It doesn't say except in the year 2021. It doesn't say except in the year of 2022 or 2023. Blessed is the person who walks in the things of God. In everything I do, I will prosper. I will prosper this year. I'm going to prosper next year. I'm going to prosper the year after. I'm going to prosper the year after that. I'm going to prosper in my 80s. I'm going to prosper in my 90s. And then I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to move into mega super prosperity. Somebody clap your hands and shout like he is God. It's powerful stuff, right? So this guy was onboarding this young lady. I got to say it again. I hate this job. The leaders are ignorant, jealous, and cutthroat. So I looked this up, and I found out that they work for the U.S. Department of Transportation, and so I looked this up of what they're supposed to do. And here's the main thing they're supposed to do when they're handling all the wheelchairs. The travelers with disability or need wheelchairs, according to the website that I read, should call this number if you need special help or where to go, find out where to go, and just expect kind, caring assistance that will help you in your travel. This is what just read it. It's on the website. I hate this job. The leaders are ignorant, jealous, and cutthroat. Man, there's a variant coming that's going to knock us all out. It's going to cut our legs off. It's going to chop us down. Now, Tim Storey, you say this with conviction even though you've buried 2 of your friends who died of COVID. You say it with conviction when some of your other friends have died of COVID, but you were in a different state or country, so you could not bury them. Y'all better pay attention. So here's a difficult thing about life. Life is not black, nor is it white. It's many times gray. Like my sister Viola, why did she go up and drive with her friends to Northern California? The 2 sisters are driving, and my sister Viola, they get in a car accident, and the thing goes down the hill. Viola goes into a coma for many days, and she dies, and the 2 sisters live. That was Paige's best friend. That was my sister Berna's best friend. That's my mother Bessie right there. That's her daughter. That's my sister. Life is not just black, it's gray. So I don't understand why my 2 friends died of COVID. But I do understand that I was warned, many are the afflictions of the righteous. But that would be one thing if that was the end of the scripture. It says, but the Lord delivers you. But the Lord delivers you. But the Lord delivers you out of them. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all, Tim Storey. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. But the Lord delivers you out of them all. I was in the airport the other day, and this guy got real emotional. He just stared at me. He says, holy, and he said, S-H blank. He goes, I never met you, but I stand in front of you. He says, I just want to weep. He goes, you're a God man. He goes, you walk in God. I go, yeah, I do. He said, I've only seen you at a distance. He goes, you got God over you. Yeah, I do. But I also have pain. I got pain from what we've all been through. We're all going through recovery and discovery at the same time. But many are the afflictions that you've gone through. But the Lord shall deliver you all. But when? But the Lord shall. But the Lord shall. It may happen today. It may happen next week. Come on, somebody. It may happen in a month. It may happen in 2 years. It may happen in 3 years. How many believe that if your children are struggling, that God's going to make a way where there was no way? Clap your hands and shout. You guys are on today. Somebody say, same location. Different principles, mindset, expectations, results. Now, I didn't want to one-up that man because that man, he came in ferocious on that young girl, and I wanted to stop him right there, Samson, and just say, hey, my name's Tim Storey, and he would have said, who cares? And I was going to set him straight and then set her straight, but it just wasn't the place to do it. But I couldn't believe that guy was tampering with her mindset. The question is, who's tampered with your mindset? So good. My God, this is so powerful. 1976, I worked at a place called the Chilean Steak Emporium. Pastor Paige doesn't realize that she helped me get this job. I went in there with Pastor Paige, and we were eating. It was on, Rudy, it's on Imperial, and you turn right on what's that street there? I have it down. So it's on Imperial, watch, and Beach Boulevard. There's now an El Ranchito by there, okay? And so Paige and I were eating there, and I talked to the owner, Mr. Anderson, and he hired me to become a dishwasher at 15 and a half. It was a white guy, and his kids went to a school called Braille Linde, and he was a really nice guy. And he said, how old are you? I said, 15 and a half. He says, it's good to be 16. I said, yeah. Did you catch that? And he says, I cannot make you a busboy, but I can make you a dishwasher. And so I was onboarded by a guy that I'm going to call Mike, but that's not his real name. And Mike said this to me: I hate this place. Every day is another day in hell. Thank you, Mike. This sounds exciting. I hope you don't end up like me and stay too long. You should get out as quick as you can. That was 1976. For me, it was my first job. Look at my eyes. Wee! You ever heard a kid do that? Wee! It was my first job. Mike the cook, who's only 26, goes like this: I hate this job. This place is like hell. It's another day in hell. I hope you don't end up like me. Get out as soon as you can. Same location, different principles, mindset, expectations, and results. I was there because I was training to become Tim Storey. I was training to go to 75 countries of the world, speak to up to 85,000 people, have best-selling books. Come on, somebody. Help start a church that would help change a lot of people. Somebody clap your hands and shout. And this guy's trying to onboard me by telling me it's not going to be good. Same location. This is so good. Same location. That's why you could have family members, same family, different principles, mindset, expectations, and results, and you got to face those people at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you wonder why you're trying to get out after 2.5 hours. You're timing yourself. Some of you don't even drink, and you're taking shots before you even get in the house. You're like, my God, I don't even drink. Give me some of those CBD gummies. Son, I saw some of those in your drawer. I know you got some in your backpack. Give me some of them CBD gummies, my God. I got to get through the next 2.5 hours. Why? Because there's different principles, mindsets, expectations, and results. Give me a generation that has something powerful coming out of their mouth that God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that I ask or imagine. Somebody clap your hands and shout. Woo! Somebody say, great teaching. My God. I'm sorry, I've been brainwashed. For real? Yeah. This is me. What'd they do to you? They Romans 12'd me again. Romans 12. Dude, what are you on, dude? I'm like, God, dude, Tim Storey, you're like on fire right now. Your life's on fire. I'm going to be on CNN News this week. I'll be on Good Morning America, January 7th. Thank you very much. I'll be on Good Morning America. They only have 10 million viewers talking about the pandemic and how to get through and all these things we're doing. What'd they do to you, man? What are you on? I'm on Romans 12, yo. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice, holy unto him, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world. And be ye transformed, Tim Storey, by the renewing of your mind. And you may prove what is that good and the acceptable and the perfect will of God for your life. I'm done preaching. Somebody clap your hands. Somebody stand and give the Lord a big clap. Come on. Clap loud and strong so they can hear you. Come on, keep clapping. Come on, keep clapping. I'm talking about your life. Keep clapping like he's able. Many are the afflictions. Man, it's amazing how many people try to get me to become negative. Man, being you must suck, people. I read on the internet this one person disliked you. Yeah, and 17 million like me. And you're looking at the one person that dislikes me? Don't be a menso. Use your head, people. Man, I love you, God. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked. I don't want their trash or sit in the seat of the mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord. Thank you, God. I'm a God-made man. I came in with him. I'm going out with him. I was praying in Spain, Jim Rojas. I was praying in Spain, and I said, God, you know, whenever you decide to take me, I'm good. Because my mom's already 90. She'll be 91 in March. Give her a big clap. And so my goal is to go into my mid-90s, but with strength, swagger, and good looks, and fancy clothes. But I'm so open, Hannah, to whatever's supposed to happen in my life. I don't have fear in this area. I just want to radiate God. Whew. I just want to radiate God. I want to reflect him. And then I want to be like Peter, who had such a transformation, where he gets to that guy in Acts chapter 3 and says, silver and gold is not what you need, but such as I have, give I thee in the name of Jesus, rise up and walk. Because Peter used to be after the silver and gold. He's talking about Luke chapter 5. I've been doing all this research on this. He says, silver and gold is what I used to be into, but that's not what you need. You're paralyzed. What you need is what I got now. See, what the world needs is what you have. They need your courage. They need your strength. They need your love. They need your compassion. They need your hand extended. They need your powerful words of faith. Hello, it's Tim Storey. I hope you enjoyed the service. If so, subscribe. If not, still subscribe. It's good.